We wanted to share with you today our experience of the transitioning of our dog Luna. We were sitting right here where we are now with the look on this valley behind us, and that's the spot where she chose to transition to the other world. She was 13 years and 1.5 months old, an American Staffordshire Terrier, and we wanted to share with you the experience because it was probably one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had in my life, and wanted to share with you that it can also be beautiful. I'm still in denial today that it actually happened because we buried her 2 days or 3 days ago, and she left on
Monday.
Monday, 6 days ago. And I could still see her body for 3 more days after she left, and I see her beauty. Her body was absolutely intact, and
Beautiful.
yeah, and she didn't look old, she didn't look gray, she was just beautiful, like she always is. We call her beautiful all the time. But the life force was not in there anymore, and that's just so hard for me to grasp. We have with us now also the two uh, baby dogs from Luna.
Here it happened on this spot. Of course.
And those are Luna's dogs and
Babies.
babies. Yeah, they are now 6 years old.
I think it's really hard to prepare for this thing, and we would like to share something for you to, if you're going through something like this, and if you know, and we all have to one day go,
Mm-hmm.
then we can also make it sort of like beautiful for us. I know it sounds weird, but when I knew that Looney one day will leave, and I didn't want to accept that, of course, ever. I didn't want to see her old and so on, and she wasn't even gray when she passed, but it was her time, and we have to respect everybody who wants to pass.
Mm-hmm.
We have to respect their time because it's the choice of this infinite power which is creating us and which gives us life, and our body in here is only a vehicle which we are using to express us, and which we are using to just make some differences in this world or contribute with our presence in this planet. And
Our love.
yeah, and since I was a 5-year-old child, and I was afraid, I was scared, and I cried. I remember when I sat at my parents, next to my parents' bed in their bedroom, and I was crying that one day my dog, which is already very long time ago away, that he will die, and I was very sad for it. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to deal with it, and then we had our 3 dogs throughout the years. It was like 30 years of dogs in my life since 1990, and they were all leaving, and they always it was creating so much sadness and emptiness and so on. And with Looney, we decided one day that she would have puppies, and it's a funny story as well. We might share it in the future, how she actually had puppies, because it's really divine leading as well for us, because we have here these two amazing beings with us now, because I wouldn't classify animals from now on, or any living beings in this planet, as just with one word, like it's a dog, it's a tree, it's like a cow. They are absolutely divine beings which are highly connected to the source all the time, and they can give us so much peace and so much presence which we have no idea, because our mind is constantly talking us into some convictions that we are better, smarter, or whatever, but they are so connected, And Looney was such a special dog for me. She was my girl, she was like for 13 years, you know?
Mm-hmm. She was always there, no matter
Yeah.
what you went through in life.
Yeah.
It's like the only constant in life as well.
Yeah. And they are not wanting from you to have makeup on. They just love you unconditionally, no matter what you're undergoing. So I was wishing for her to, if it is have to happen in the future. We didn't know it's going to happen now, but we were wishing for it, and especially me, that it will be beautiful. And I was saying, hey, please just make it beautiful. I don't want any, you know. Now I can say I'm super grateful. I'm so grateful beyond all gratefulness word that she didn't cry with pain. She didn't have any pain. She
wasn't shaking.
wasn't shaking, convulsing, you know, nothing like that. It was beautiful. She surrendered to that energy. She surrendered, and it just was so beautiful. In peace, I was having my hands on her. I hugged her, and Raphael as well, and my father came, and we were all three standing here at 5:30 in the morning, because it seemed like she just wants to go out to pee, and she didn't even pee in her bed or anything. She just wanted to pee outside, even though she had some diarrhea and so on before that, also in a bed, because she couldn't stand up for 2 days. And
she didn't eat the last 3 days.
yeah, but you know, it can be so beautiful. And she taught me, she teaches me still, you know, even though she's not in her physical body, it's still, was such a teacher in my life. And the animals just are such wise beings here in the planet. We don't know that, and we don't see the beauty in it, but you know, they just are here for us. Every time I touched her, every time I had whatever I was experiencing, she was here, and she was having her breathing. And it's just enough if you hug the dog, or if you hug a cow, or whoever you need, and they are just calming you down with their heartbeat, with their breathing, you know. And the same thing we do for them, and it's so beautiful. And so she was teaching me this, and she showed me that, and it's a moment of a big loss.
I was at around 5 in the morning that she started to cry a little bit, and we were still up at night. She was sometimes a little bit crying, and Petra would touch her and she immediately calms down. And for a moment we took her also into our bed, which we haven't done for months.
Yeah.
Because we don't usually have
couldn't-
her in our bed, but she loves it, of course.
She couldn't jump down, so we couldn't put her to bed, and we don't really sleep with dogs, but
But we said, okay, let's do it, and we didn't know it's gonna be the last night, and
we couldn't sleep.
Yeah, we
right?
took her, and she gave us a little wiggle as well.
When we took her in a bed, she did like little tiny
and
mini
she
wiggle.
looked at us. She
was
still had
happy.
her eyes open. She still was contacting us, and
Yeah.
she was just breathing very calmly. And at 5 in the morning, she cried a little bit. And first we thought she will be calm again, and you touched her, but she cried more. And then
Through the
we got
night,
up.
it was 1:30. We had a little, diarrhea. We had to change everything, clean her, and at 3:30 again. And we didn't really sleep at night. We were really for her. And then at 5:28 or 27, she just wanted to go out. She just did a little information for me that she wants to go out. And I was constantly touching her every time she had some whatever needed. I put my hand on her, and it calmed her down so much, so she could continue sort of like sleeping. But this time we just took her out.
I said to Petra, let's take the vest. We found a swim vest for dogs, which It's quite convenient to carry her, so I could carry her outside. Then I was standing here on the grass, and she was standing sort of with me supporting her.
Trying to pee.
And then she was having a little cry, one little cry, like it almost was like she was trying to vomit, but it was more like I feel it was like the life force, like the separation of the life force in the body and the physical body. And
For me, it was like that. She always, when she had to be more strong, like jump in the water, she was always doing this kind of cry, and she was doing it the night before when we were putting her to do normal like pooing and so on. She did that too, and it seemed like she's going to not make it. And we didn't know, right? We thought we will be like this 2 weeks more or whatever, and then she did it here, and you can.
yeah, and you said that it was for her like collecting all the courage that she
All the
has
strength, yeah.
to jump in the water or to make this jump. Yeah, she was just having her last breath, and she was laying down.
We were checking. Of course, we were trying to find out if she's breathing. If
She's
we
just
were
choking on
massaging her
something,
chest
so
and
we
so on.
can help her. But
Yeah.
then we knew that this is the moment, and we were with our minds, right, thinking, okay, what should we do now? Is it really it? Should
then
we help her? And
then we understood that it's the
yeah,
last moment, and we just had to let it go. All our mind, SHIT. We have to let it all go and let her have the moment, let us have the moment with her.
and we first wanted to put her back inside in her little dog bed so she would be warm, you know. But Petra was somehow getting some information that she said she doesn't want to be inside, she wants to be here now, and she wants to look at this valley, and it was just the sunrise.
Before the sunrise,
and it was absolutely beautiful.
Because sun is rising 6:30 and she was leaving 5:30, and it was just the first,
The dawn, or what it's called.
the golden hour.
Golden hour, and we then positioned her that she can really just a little bit. We changed her position.
She was basically staying in that position all the
Yeah.
time, but she was just watching sunrise with us. And it was such a moment of gratefulness, peace, and a huge sadness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I took these camping chairs and put them next to her. Petra's father was with us for some time, and then he went with the other dogs back to his house, and we were staying here for about an hour or 1.5 hours with Luna. And
The other dogs also were very sad and crying. Were
yes,
smelling her and wanting to
they also realized what's happening.
wanted us to do something. They were saying like do something, but they were just also understanding this thing.
And it was like a huge opening also when she left to the other side. Like it felt like there was a huge portal, and we were so present for so long, and filled with so much gratitude and also sadness and awe of
And
this beauty.
we wouldn't be able to make this video before because we would be probably still crying.
Yeah.
In waves.
Yeah, it still comes in waves, and
So it's beautiful, you know. It's beautiful that you care for somebody or some being. It's beautiful to wish for them to have it beautiful and peaceful, the transition. And it's beautiful that we are grieving and being sad, and at the same time very grateful for everything what we were through. And
I was counting that we will have at least 2 more years with her, and all our future plans were set in that direction, that we will be living together and we'll care for her, and we'll have a nice life together for the next 2 years minimum. But
Mhm.
there's also a point where we cannot make a loved one stay in our lives longer than it's meant for them or they want to be, because we could still try to like just not accept it and still try to hold her with our energy. Like physically there's not much more that we could do. We did everything that was in our hands, everything that was to support her that she's well. But energetically we could also have tried to hold on and say, no, you're not leaving, you're not leaving, you're staying, you're staying. And the dog realizes that, and she would then maybe try to prolong it, and she would have to suffer for a
She would
prolonged
have to
period.
suffer for us, and the dogs sometimes have those shaking of the bodies and big pains and so on, just to also people want to just mentally prolong this, and it's very much blocking the life energy and the divine energy in them, and then it wants to pass through the body and it's creating a lot of pain and so on,
Hmm.
and so we don't recommend that, because it's always better to say, hey, do whatever you need,
Yes, we
you
can
know.
communicate with them, right? I look them in the eyes. That's how they communicate with us, and say, look, I love to have you here, and I I know that when you need to go, you need to go, and it's okay. And also when she couldn't walk by herself, or she couldn't go to the grass, or she put in her bed, we just,
Last day only.
yes, we just are there and we say, hey, it's okay, it's okay.
No, we
And
just didn't do anything. We just cleaned her, nothing.
yeah, but
We
it's like we
Yeah,
communicate with her
yeah,
that it's fine. It's
yeah,
not like
yeah, yeah.
something
Just
dirty or
yeah.
disgusting.
I always only made sure in my energy that I know that, the voice and so on is not as much there, but in my energy, and when I touched her, I always made sure that she feels the calmness and she feels how I am just aligned with everything. And we did what we, in our limited mind programming, could do. And a lot of people are also, when I talked to friends, they their dog left, and it was like 15 years ago, and she's still beating herself up for giving to the dog infusions and vet, and not letting the dog pass his way. And we were on a vacation together, and she was just saying it like 10 times during the vacation. And it's not good, because in that time there was past you,
Hmm.
which is the best, which
Absolutely.
did the best. We never know, we are never taught, nobody prepares us for these things.
And you never know when it's really the last
It's a
moment.
big taboo for us. It's a big taboo. And I was on a vacation after 5 years being with Luna all the time, basically. Besides, we were traveling a little bit without her. But she was taken care of in my family's home, slept with my mom in a bed and so on. She was absolutely fine. But she was waiting. I knew that I don't want to be with her. I don't want to undergo this. I don't want to undergo this transition. But there is no stop. It's just going. And I came back, and I knew that I have to go to her, and we came late at night, and on next day I just felt like I don't want to go here back to like this home where we are living. But she was waiting for me to come home.
Hmm.
And I really wanted my whole life with her. I really wanted to be with her, because this is our bond. We are undergoing everything, from the beginning to the end. We are together. And this is what you are with your loved one experiencing. Just make it beautiful and open up for this beauty behind this, because there is beautiful presence in it. It's beautiful energy, such a peaceful energy. didn't care about phones, we didn't care about Instagram, we didn't care about anything. In that moment, you just don't care. You just see the presence, and
Yeah.
you're just in some different kind of state when you are with that loved one who just left. It's like, I know that it's bad, and it's just really for us perceived like a bad thing that something dies or somebody dies, but we wouldn't be here if things were not dying, and people and beings were not dying, not things but beings. And it taught us so much that I think I can't put it into words in this moment, and maybe we can talk about it later again, to just give you some support, because it's beautiful when it's the right time and the beings live beautiful life. That's what we have to go for. Just love every day of our life and live beautiful life, because we really can't know when we can do something still and when we can't, and we should be grateful all the time for whatever we get. We were also not very grateful, but we were also still trying to get out of this place where we didn't have we had cold water, and it's very cold now. Like, really, I'm having my winter stuff, which I used to wear as a child, on, like 13-year-old teenager, but and it still fits. But my parents were thinking I'll be growing very fast, so they bought it for me very, very big. Yeah, Ari. Yeah, we were not very appreciating where we were living, because we still wanted to go away and have it ours and make it ours. But my father was saying, hey, you are home here. It's your home as well. I know it's under reconstruction, but just for her, it was beautiful. She enjoyed every single moment, every single sun ray, every single day she enjoyed with us here. It was amazing to watch her bliss. Ari wants to go somewhere. She wants to poo.
She did.
Yeah.
Before that.
And it was beautiful that she could enjoy this with us, and she had great food, and it was just so beautiful. And we now understand why universe, when we were creating and being open for these creations, why we didn't receive the home, because here we are home, and she was home here, and she wanted to live in her home. She didn't want to transition somewhere, where we rent. She was just having she just was so noble that she liked it in a good style, in a very noble style.
And she also, we could also prepare for her passing, because the day Petra came back from the vacation was when she had her last meal. Petra was able to give her some egg in the evening, but after that she already didn't want food anymore. She didn't accept her favorite ham and salamis, nothing. And we knew, okay, what it probably means, but
we didn't know. We were just still.
We know that she always can surprise us.
I think we were trying to not know anything. We were just trying to not judge it.
Yeah, exactly. Letting it up to the universe.
And I also, sometimes I laid with her outside, and I'm like, oh, I'll clean her ears. And then the mind comments like, oh, but maybe she will not be here. But I'm like, but I'll clean her ears because she's here and we are here, and who knows if she's getting better or worse. You never know. You just stop judging it. You just turn off your mind comments, and it's so helpful in these situations. Just don't comment anything in your mind. You're just like a not like a machine, but like a present being. Like, all right, she pooed, okay, I'm changing it, I'm cleaning her, let's go to sleep. I'm touching her, we are connected. No whatsoever, any assumption, any plans, anything like that. It was so beautiful, the presence, And you give it to her yourself, and you give it to her, and if you, or to him or whoever you are with.
And it was also really beautiful. She was still making contact with us. She was still having her eye open, even though she was like sleeping. She was still looking at us and or at nature, and still kind of taking it in, or just wanting to enjoy the
Love.
yes. It's so beautiful, and of course, logically, I know that we all die, and also that
We all know it, but
Luna would have to die one day. But I think it's like people say when they have a child, you never know how it truly is until you actually have your own child, and that was for me like this also with witnessing the death of a loved one,
transition,
to
yeah.
be there present with that being, because I would have never thought that it is like this, and I also didn't think that it could be so beautiful, and yeah.
And but I also very much am so grateful that we have society here which really fights, like not fights for life, but we really are having this medical care everywhere, that they do anything for you to keep your soul in the body, you know. Even though it's sometimes not the best solution, but because of the soul wants to already go, and you know, some people just can't leave because of the artificial stimulation of the heart or something,
And some people or some beings could also try to hold onto their life,
yeah.
and
We don't have to.
because we would be afraid of that.
Yeah. We'll just go back to Looney's comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we wanted to share at least a little bit about this transition, and I know some people wrote, how about that and how about this, and you know, we know what I would like to say this: it's amazing to get great advices from people who are watching these videos. It's sometimes super helpful, and I learned right now that I will never judge, even less I will judge people, how they behave, what they do, how they handle stuff. I really became so much utterly humble about this, because you never know what people already did, what they had to undergo to get into certain points. You don't know. For example, we really called vet, we were with her at the vet so many times before. I was like a half vet already. I also was just already prepared, because I'm a healthcare already worker from before, so I kind of know. But at the same time, you never know what the people are experiencing, what they have to provide for the loved one. So it's better always to just turn off the mind comments, turn it off, and just be,
Yeah, but also not hold back, if you
Yeah,
have some
yeah.
information
Yeah,
for
exactly,
somebody,
exactly.
this might be exactly what the person needs. You
Exactly.
never know.
Yeah,
Look, it's up to them if they want to do something with it or not.
yeah.
But
yeah.
sometimes we are also messengers of the divine.
Exactly.
And let's not hold that in.
Yeah. So you sometimes know that you're just, sometimes it definitely happened to you, that you said something and you're like, oh, where did this come from, And this is probably the best what the person can need from you, and what can help. And yeah, so I also see through the programs of people, sometimes they have some comments around my people who I know, and I see through their sentences if they are capable of love of this amount or not, because they have never had a dog, for example, my friends or so. They just say my condolences or something, because they really like Looney. And they are so sad. Some are very sad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's okay, because it's just not time for everybody is just different, and we are here to experience different things and different range of emotions and everything. So I really love to not judge them and or judge me as well. And I had to practice because I positioned Looney at this last night. She was with us. I positioned her on a healthy eye, and she couldn't see. And I wanted to clean it, and I wanted to disinfect her eye and like put their fog in and everything what she was supposed to. And she still wanted to look at us, and I didn't get that. And I'm like, yeah, but when I got it, Raphael is like, when you understood, Ari, yeah. When I understood, I immediately positioned her differently because she was whole day on the left side, so that she could be on the right side or something, you know. And yeah,
You want
So-
to beat yourself up for it. You wanted to feel guilty
yeah.
that you didn't do it right.
Yeah. I wanted to beat myself up for a lot of things, and you know what it did? It was stealing my presence and my peace with her, you know, from this all. And don't let it steal from you. And our dog Ari, when was divine or God was giving energy, she went like 3 times.
This one.
This one which was wiggling here, she went 3 times. We also don't know what to do with this with this energy because Ami, look. Because Ami is quite calm.
Oh.
And he's like really nice and so on, and she's
You can't
amazing.
even pet her. Still, your hand is still in her mouth.
And we are very lucky to have this her pieces of her with us because they are looking similar, but they are never going to be the same. And we also think when somebody clones their loved dog or whatever, it would never be the same soul in the same body. So, honey, it would never be the same soul in the same body. It's just so precious. It's just so beautiful. Such a connection.
Okay.
Honey, I'm talking about important stuff.
Yeah,
They both
I
wanna
don't
be
have her
with
under
you.
control.
Okay, are we done?
Yeah.
So we are now really not knowing what to do without her. We are learning to not go to the store and not still think about, oh, she might like this fermented milk, you know, or a little bit of like pieces of like the meat, like sliced ham and so
But
on.
we also keep repeating these things because we really don't
Don't wanna
want to ever forget her.
And I also wanted to still hug her, and even though she was here almost out of the whole body, I still hugged her, and I never wanted to forget that feeling of her. Because it's when the soul is in the body, it's just you hug the person or the being, and it's there, you know. You never probably, if mind forgets, but I hope the soul and the heart don't forget. And it's unrepeatable. Right?
Yeah.
So don't let your fear take away these beautiful moments with your loved ones. And
also don't let guilt afterwards take you away.
afterwards.
That you say you didn't spend enough time with that being, or you were not enough present. That's
or
just,
you did something wrong, you know.
it's just the guilt that wants to take it away from you.
Because
don't let it.
I still can think of what I did wrongly. You know, my father was just checking with the light if her eyes are still alive or if she's
Because it
alive.
was early in the
And
morning.
I'm like,
and
hey,
dark.
please don't. It was dark, and I'm like, hey, please don't do this. It's annoying. The light is not nice to see, and she wants to watch the sunrise and so on.
And it was
And I was
maybe,
like beating myself up for this, that she wanted to see sunlight. And you know how you have a very strong light in your eyes, then you can't see for a while. And I'm
but
like,
you
oh,
were saying that you also feel like she was telling you this because you then told your father don't put the light there.
yeah, but I think we are so connected with the being which lives with us, especially when it's an animal, that you don't know whose idea it is anymore, you know. You just do and act the way without any judgment, without any explanation where the source of the information comes from. You just do what's the best for the
Yeah.
for your loved one or for the whole thing, for the whole being, like, good.
Mhm.
Yeah. So thank you for being with us. If you were with us until the end, because yeah, we just wanted to share it, and
So that you know that it can also be beautiful. You don't have to be afraid of it.
and beautiful in its own way, you know. Yeah, it's just so beautiful
And you
that
can also wish for it.
it's just so beautiful that we can love each other on this planet this much. It's just so beautiful. It's something which we feel so rich and abundant about love, and just bathe that person or that being and yourself in love.
And now her spirit can go anywhere with us. Now she's not limited. Doesn't matter if a hotel says dogs not allowed. She'll be always with us now.
And they are very much helping us, her babies, to overcome
Yeah.
it. So I can't imagine that a person has no dog at home all of a sudden, because that has to be very painful.
big void.
That we underwent that too, and it has to be really hard. So just celebrate the love. Celebrate the love which the being opened up in you, because it's you giving it to yourself and to that being. It's always you. It's you are the source of that love and the receiver, and it multiplies when you worship it, right?
And when you share it.
Yeah. And we are going inside because we are very cold. And we wanted to do it here because there in here, here was the light and the sun coming up, and it was so beautiful.
See you next time.
Honey, don't provoke her.
I didn't think that she would eat it.
She would love that. You see.